Welcome Teacher Fit, my name is Bailey. Today we're going to be going through the 6th series in our Yin Chakra series. So we're going to be working with our third eye chakra today, so the center of your forehead. A lot of people have different associations with that. You know, your third eye, your intuitive abilities. A lot of people refer to that as the seat of your soul. So however you associate with that, and if you don't at all, it really doesn't matter. It's just a beautiful practice that's going to help you get into some deep folds and some deep stretches in a really restorative way, or whichever way you'd prefer. If you need more attention on some active stretches, you can take that as well. But today I just want you to focus on giving yourself what you need. So rather than striving for the sensation in a stretch, perhaps you just let yourself arrive where you land when you find these folds and stretches. So connecting our forehead to the ground or to a pillow, bolster, block, blanket, book, whatever it is that you're using wherever you are, that's sending signals to our parasympathetic nervous system to calm down. Anytime you touch the center of your forehead, even with your hands, so even if you're at a desk and you bring your hand to your forehead like that, sometimes we naturally do that when we're stressed out, and that might be why. It's a natural way to calm down. So today when we're moving through these folds, which there will be a lot of folds today so that we can activate that place within our bodies, I want you to just think of opening, expansion, cleansing, clearing, anything that you may need to do with your third eye. So those instinctual feelings that you get, the gut instincts and hunches that you have, or when you walk into a room really able to feel the energy of the space before even knowing anyone. If that place in you feels a bit cloudy or hard to access, use this practice as a time to really hone that and just let the practice do its work. So I want you to find what you need, get your props, get yourself arranged as necessary. So anything to help make you more comfortable in the pose. You may even put a blanket down on top of your mat to be a little bit more cushy. We're going to be on our mats the whole time today, not anything standing or anything like that. Deeply, deeply restorative. So if you fall asleep, that's welcomed as well. Anything that happens today is what you needed. So we're going to start today in child's pose, and you can take that traditionally with no props if you choose. So bringing your hips back towards your heels, stretching your arms forward, letting your forehead, your third eye, connect down with the mat. If you want to bring some props into it, either to find more ease or effort, I'll help you get set up cozy first. You can start to bring a pillow or a blanket rolled up in between your legs here and roll forward, bringing your chest right on top of this bolster like this, and you can stretch your arms forward or even sweep them back. And you can bring your head to the bolster or the pillow or not. It's up to you. You can also stack two on top, right? And if you need a little bit more intensity, if you're looking for a deeper stretch, you can bring your blocks right underneath your elbows here in your child's pose. Hands come together to touch, and melt your forehead down to the mat. This will give you a nice little shoulder stretch here. Thinking about your thumbs coming towards the center of your back or right behind your neck. And just allowing yourself to fall into this stretch. Surrender into it. Notice if you're clenching or if you're tense at all. If you're in your traditional child's pose, just settle. If your elbows are lifted and if you're finding this in a very active way, start to soften. Let everything really fall onto the mat. Breathe in. Breathe out. And while you're here in your child's pose, close your eyes if that feels nice. We're going to be in each one of these poses today for at least 3 minutes, maybe longer depending on the shape. So really allow yourself to get cozy once you get there. Sometimes we have this anticipation where we feel like, I have to move on to a new pose. So why bother getting comfortable? That's part of the practice. So really let yourself surrender. Do a little scan from your toes to the top of your head. Where are you holding tension? How can you soften those places so you can experience this pose more deeply through release? Sometimes it feels like we're in a pose because it looks like the pose, but we've yet to arrive. So notice if that's what's happening. You can use your breath to iron out any wiggles you might have, taking your long, full breaths in through your nose. Your easy exhales out of your mouth. And just keep doing this. Breathing in slowly. Breathing out deeply. Good. And take about 7 more breaths here in your child's pose. Finding any shape if you want to change and come into a more restorative shape. If you didn't start that way, you can. Moving through any wiggles or tension that you might have through your breath. Good. Take one last inhale. One last exhale. Start to softly press up. Walk your fingers back towards your body. Move any props that you have out of the way. And start to shift your hips over towards the right. Straighten out your legs in front of you. And flex your toes back towards your face. So we're going to move into our forward fold just in an active way at first. Sit up nice and tall. Arms reach overhead. Breathe in. Exhale, fold. So you can reach for your toes, or you can bring your hands back behind, kind of launching yourself forward as you melt your chest towards your thighs. So really get into the backs of your legs here. Press your hamstrings down into the mat as you flex your feet back. Notice this active stretch here. And then start to soften. So let your feet flop out to the sides. Release that flex in your foot. And you can come up softly a little bit if you'd like, and here's where you get to start to build your little folding tower. You can bring pillows and blankets if you choose. Stack them up as tall as you'd like, and fold. Your forehead can come down if that's comfortable, or you can rest a cheek. You choose the amount of height that you need here. So do you want more restoration? Stack your folding tower up higher. Do you want more of this kind of in the middle, equal effort, equal ease in your stretch? Then you decide. Maybe you don't even need a bolster at all. It's up to you, or a pillow, whatever you have. But if you have your forehead connected down and touching anything, let it arrive there. If you feel that you are wiggling, that's totally fine. We don't always have to be still in these poses. Sometimes we have some energy that needs to release. We don't always have to be still and perfect in these yoga practices. Part of it is being messy and sloppy and noticing our tendencies and understanding, hey, I don't like being still right now. I don't like this silence. So just notice what's happening with yourself while you're here. Let this be a place for you to witness. We'll be in this folded shape for about 3 more minutes. So you can use your controlled breath to lengthen up a bit and to fold a little bit more forward. Your arms can come down to the mat. You can use your blocks if you'd like to make some more height. There's no right or wrong way to use these props, okay? It's whatever you want to make up that's going to make you feel more comfortable. Notice what's happening in your spine, the back of your neck. And let yourself be here in silence for the next minute. Not moving, not talking. Just existing. And take about 2 more breaths here. There's no rush as we transition from one pose to the other, moving super slowly. You might start to blink your eyes open just softly as you come back up. You can bring your hands back behind your low back. And just let your shoulders roll back. You might lean back, look up a little bit, counter the fold. And you can start to move any props that you have off to the side. We're going to move into our wide-legged forward fold now. You can stay just as you are and start to make this V shape with your legs, right? And it does not have to be this really big V shape, okay? You find a position that's comfortable for you. And we're gonna first fold through the center, and then we're gonna fold to the left and the right, maybe briefly through the center again after that. So again, finding your props here. Anything that you'd like to put down in front of you, or if you want to experience this in a more active way the full entire time, that's up to you as well. But find this length in your spine first. Flex your feet back. Use your exhale to fold, lead with your heart. You may grab onto your toes at first. Melt your chest down to the mat. Lengthen your spine, breathe in. Fold, breathe out. So there's this 2-directional fold that we have here. It's like the crown of your head has a magnet on it and it's just reaching for whatever's in front of you, lengthening, stretching forward. And then also your heart is melting down. So you're reaching forward and down. Untucking your chin, finding this nice long fold, good. And you can softly start releasing your toes if you have them. Finding a more passive stretch here, stacking any bolsters, letting your forehead melt down. Good. Finding some stillness, closing your eyes, finding a place to let your body rest. So when we rest, our body heals itself. Our parasympathetic nervous system turns on. We have cellular repair, all kinds of things that are super great for us happen. We can also activate this resting state in these deep restorative yoga practices. Learning how to relax is a big deal. Learning how to calm yourself down in the middle of your day when you're not sleeping. You can turn on that cellular repair. You can turn on that parasympathetic nervous system to really help you and give you that extra bit of stress relief that we all so desperately need. So coming into these super still shapes, softening everything, just being in full surrender. Being a witness to whatever's happening in your body right now. No judgment, just noticing what's going on. I practiced a yin practice myself the other day, unrelated to this, and my coffee just kicked in at the very wrong time. And so I'm in these poses holding for a really long time, and the caffeine just did not work well with that moment. And that's okay. It was still a way for me to explore the practice in a different way than I had before. Give yourself about 2 more minutes here. If you want to take away any bolsters or add them, you're at about the halfway mark now. If you want to find some more depth, you can. Always an opportunity to bring your hands to the outsides of the bolster or back behind. Doing a scan, noticing where you're holding tension, where are you clenching, breathe into that deeply. Exhale, release. All those places get soft in those joints. Good. 5 more breaths here. Moving super slow. There's no need to rush. Softly lift your forehead off anything that it's on and press your hands back. Give yourself a little bit of a counter back bend. Hands walk back behind. Stretch out. You might even twist. Bring your left hand to the outside of your right foot. Look over that right shoulder. Move to the other side. Left hand back behind you. Right hand comes towards your left leg. Look back behind you. Good. And then you can choose here. Bolsters or no bolsters. We're going to do our left leg first. So sometimes I just like to move the bolster right along my left leg. So instead of it pointing forward, it's just right along my left leg. You can also bring it right on top of your left leg. And if you have blocks or if you have anything else that's helping you come upright, anything that you'd like to use, however you want to use it. So first, noticing the twist here. We were folding straight forward. Now you're kind of pivoting, leaning, looking over that left leg. Breathe in, long spine. Exhale, fold forward. Option to have a bolster or not. Option to find your active stretch first, flexing your toes back to your face, finding your foot, folding, pressing your hamstring down into the mat or ignoring all of that, and just coming right into your restoration. Noticing if you need more props, if you need anything else around you to help you feel more comfortable. Melting deeper with every exhale. Sometimes, a lot of us, many of us, we're so designed to move on to the next thing. We have to do, go. And there's this glorification of being busy and having to take care of things and this to-do list that's just perpetual. So knowing that that's a reality. There's also the reality of not subscribing to that. That might be something that you have to do to survive. It might be tasks that are necessary for your life to exist the way that it does. But we can also do this. We can also counter that part of our life through these still moments with ourselves. Prioritizing the self-care that we all so deeply need. Give yourself 5 more breaths here. Making any adjustments, hands can come down to the mat if they weren't. You can add or remove a block or a bolster or a blanket. Let yourself explore this pose in the last few breaths in a different way, if you want. You might keep your eyes closed through the transition to keep this energy the same, match it. No need to abruptly shift from it. But we're just going to switch legs. So you can either come all the way upright or you can just start to crawl your hands through the center and pivot, bringing that bolster right over to your right leg, folding. Notice how that changes the stretch in your spine and the sides of your body. A little bit of a twist is happening here, so does this feel good to counter moving to the other leg? Those subtle little movements in our body, we don't really notice them throughout the day. We're so busy. So giving that a little bit of time to be noticed. And if you needed to find this in an active way, you can, just like you did on the other side, before melting into some deeply restorative shapes. And connecting back in with your third eye, the center of your forehead as your eyes are closed. Notice any colors, any shapes, any fragments of dreams, any visuals that you get. Know that they are natural, unique, and not unusual for you. They'll have meaning. Sometimes I like to visualize this windshield wiper in my mind's eye with my eyes closed, just kind of cleaning my third eye, connecting back into that intuitive nature, helping us make conscious choices through those instincts that we might not be able to understand, but we know are right, we know are wrong. And you have about 5 more breaths here on this side, choosing to transition or find another variation, settling in more deeply or adding any blankets or props as needed. But keeping this really soft, smooth energy you're cultivating going. No need to shake that up. So as we transition to our next pose eventually, do it slowly, like you're moving through honey, keeping your eyes as close to closed as possible. Good, so softly sitting up, go slow, over-exaggerate the slowness. Good, moving bolsters if you want. You can find that little counter stretch if you need. Lots of folds today. And then starting to bring the soles of your feet together for a butterfly shape. So there's quite a few ways that you can set yourself up for success here, depending on what props you have. If you have blocks or books, and if you need this, if you're feeling the hip stretch deeply with your knees all the way down, you can bring these blocks right underneath your knees here. Let them lift up a little higher, and you can move the setting to whatever makes sense for you. Hold your knees up high. So that's one way to do it. You can also bring a bolster or a pillow underneath your knees, like this. Okay, so you can fold or you can sit upright. You can keep your knees flat. Those are all just variations. If you've got bolsters or anything that you've been folding over, you might create your little tower. You may fold forward, right? Anything that you want to do here. You can bring your bolsters way out in front of your feet and fold this way. If you want to fold without any props, you can do that too, coming all the way down. You can connect your forehead with your feet. Wherever you are, find some stillness. So explore. Find a few different shapes here that seem like they're going to feel nice for you. You can find them in the active way first if you'd like. That's always there. And then fold into your variations. Giving your hips some time to open here. Even if you've got blocks under your knees, especially if you've got blocks under your knees, notice where the tightness is, right? And if you, a good indication of needing to back off is if you can't relax your face. See if you can bring some softness into the discomfort that you're feeling. If you can, stay. If it's not painful, stay. If it's just uncomfortable, stay. Use the tools that you have. Use your breath. Soften yourself. And let yourself experience this pose, even if it feels intense. Discomfort is a beautiful teacher, and oftentimes we steer clear of discomfort, especially, our brain, our fight or flight turns on and says, nope, don't do that. You must be trying to kill me. This does not feel good at all. So training your brain the difference between pain and discomfort and allowing that discomfort to happen, being with that discomfort is very useful on and off the mat. And take about 5 more breaths here. Good, and softly press yourself back upright. Move slow. So we're going to keep our legs exactly as they are. If you need to reposition and scoot yourself towards the top of your mat a little bit, you can. And I want you to, if you're using props, bring either blocks or bolsters back behind, drawing it all the way up to your lower back here as you lean back. So this is our reclined butterfly, a little bit of a back bend to counter all of those folds that we have had. And you can still keep bolsters right underneath your knees. Palms can face up alongside your body. And let your shoulders roll down each side of the bolster. And this is how we're going to end class today. So you can stay here for 5 minutes. You can stay here for 10 minutes, 30 minutes. You can fall asleep here. But as you close your eyes, as you work through any wiggles you have and find deep stillness, ask yourself how you can relax 3 times more. Letting this be sacred and letting this be special to you. As you let all the pieces of your practice start to arrive into your body. As you let your third eye expand and open. As you connect with something greater. You can give yourself 5 more breaths. Or you can commit and stay. You're going to wrap up your practice now and start to press into your hands, into your arms. As you come up into a seat, you can start to remove any props away from you just so that you can find a comfortable seat, sitting up tall, bringing your palms together to touch and pressing your thumbs into your chest. Take a full breath in. And a full breath out, bowing down in gratitude for the time that you've created for yourself. Namaste. Great work, everyone. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much.